Hello YouTube. Today I want to talk about something kind of interesting. I want to talk about understanding activity in chess. And mainly what I want to talk about is there's really certain stages that players go through as they progress. I think actually the raw beginners, I think they really do care about activity because I think a lot of our early games are won by things like the four move checkmate or just finding a fork. So we have this tendency to move our pieces just kind of out, to try to search for these things. And we're not as focused on material. And then as we get better at calculating tactics, we become more material focused. And I think really anybody like sub 2000, like around in the sub 2000 range, we start getting really, really materialistic, way too materialistic. We start just completely ignoring activity. And by saying completely ignoring, I don't mean completely ignoring. I think you get this bias where you want everything to be completely concrete. You feel like if you sacrifice some material, you have to see it all the way to the end. And I don't know if that bias goes away until after you hit at least expert or master. So I just want to give an example of that, just to kind of share my thoughts. There are a ton of standard kind of sacrifices in chess that top players will avoid. They won't let their opponent sacrifice the material because they know that the position is borderline lost. And so this is one of those examples. It comes out of the Fischer-Sozin variation, and white plays very, very aggressively, like an early bishop g5 and an early queen f3. And one of the moves that black has to avoid here is the move that I have right here. This move, bishop to b7. And the reason black has to avoid it is because this sacrifice, bishop takes e6, is really well known. So we have bishop takes e6, f e6, knight e6, queen a5, and then knight takes g7. And we sacrifice a piece for 3 pawns. And we get just this incredible amount of activity with our minor pieces and this incredible attack against the king. And I think a lot of people look at this and they're like, okay, but where does the mate finally come, right? We don't have to calculate this all the way to mate. So, like, for example, after knight on b87, we can just keep ratcheting up the pressure. We castle queenside, rook hf8. We can play our knight check. We can bring in the rook. When the queen attacks the rook, we bring in the other rook. Queen g8, we still don't have an axe that's going to fall down on black's head yet. We just play queen h3. And this position should be completely winning. Now, you might be saying, okay, I guess white has some compensation for the material. To this, I say, really, just some. So this is what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you this, and I wanted to show you the moves, and just have you kind of absorb the position so that you can kind of see your own biases. So if you had to guess, like, by how much, white had an advantage here with his activity for his, material, what kind of advantage would you give him? Would you say, okay, well, white's, maybe just a little bit better, like he's, or actually right now white's up a pawn worth of material. He's got actually like, right now he's got what, 3 pawns? It looks like what, 1, 2, he's got 4 pawns for the piece. So is he up 1 pawn now because he got that 4th pawn? Is he up 2 pawns because he got the 4th pawn, but he's got a little bit of extra because he's just got, a little bit more activity for that pawn, right? How would you personally evaluate this position? And then after you've personally evaluated this position, I want you to see exactly how far off you are. I'm going to add Stockfish 12 to this. Let's see how Stockfish evaluates this position. So here we go. Stockfish +6. Looks like +5. Yep, nope, +6. Just jumped up to +6. So Stockfish thinks this is +6 for white. And keep in mind, Stockfish doesn't show that hammer falling for quite a while. So Stockfish right now is giving rook f7 to kind of hold everything together. And then e5. And I guess is that the hammer? Okay, so knight e4. Are we finally winning some material here? Yep, if we won it, now we can finally play rook d7, but they're still in it. They're still playing knight g5. So we could play rook d7, and we could go into this cascade of exchanges, knight g5, rook c7, knight h3, and then rook f7, king f7, finally rook d7, king e6, rook b7, and we got our piece back, and now we're up the clean pieces, knight f2. And again, you would think we're only up 3 pawns, so why is it still +7? Because this activity is still really huge. So this activity of this rook on this 7th rank, so the computer's actually giving knight d1. It wants to play, it wants to exchange, and now finally the activity's pittering out a little bit, so it's giving us less compensation for the activity, but still +5 in this position. So if you evaluated this position as only +2 or +3, you were dead wrong. Or if you even evaluated the position as +1, right? White had a ton of activity for this, and actually he had it kind of at the beginning of this sacrifice. Like if we go bishop e6, knight takes e6, you can see the evaluation jump almost immediately to almost 4 pawns right away. And that's with best play. So like after queen a5, knight g7, king f7, knight f5, we're already in a +5 to +6 scenario here for white. And of course, that's why grandmasters avoid these kinds of sacrifices, because the advantages are so huge. This is a massive amount of activity for the material. It's not just a little bit. Okay, so hopefully that helps you evaluate your own positions when you have a lot of activity for the material, and helps you understand kind of what the value of having a king this wide open and having pieces on these really dominant squares really are. If anything, you're probably undervaluing it a little bit. Anyways, I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you learned something new about chess. Thank you very much for watching.